Hey everyone, this is Jeff Elliott with Ninja CPA Review, and today we're doing an interview with a Ninja segment with Gagan. How are you today?
Yeah, I'm really fine. How about you?
Things are great. Where are you from, by the way?
So I'm from India. This is state Punjab, and I'm from Punjab.
Gotcha. Well, this all started because you reached out to me, and I've been wanting to start a segment and call it Interview with a Ninja. So you're my first person. I appreciate you reaching out. I just have some questions. I want to hear about your CPA journey, and hopefully it'll benefit others who have been in your shoes. My first question is just tell me about your education and your career path.
So yeah, I have done my graduations in Bachelor's Business while doing one of our projects from college during my graduation. I was working on understanding how the US logistics market is going. Then I completed my project for my, I think, like summer internship, something. Then I submitted to my superiors out there. And I started thinking about like how I can utilize my project into the real world application. And then then I have my journey went further. So using the research that I've done from my college, I converted that into building up a startup. So I went further and I thought like I can offer business management services, being a bachelor of business to small scale truckers, freight brokers, or like anyone who's a key player for the logistics market in the US. And I went ahead and I started off with business management services. Suddenly, and I don't know, I reached out some of the people and they were interested into my outsourcing services and started I got some clients and my journey started around July 2020. So I bought my first truck and he has 5 trucks initially and we started working on his fleet and developed his business over time. That's how I done that work for almost 3.5 years. Over the 3.5 years, I was able to generate $4 million in revenue. I would have got a great exit for me as well. Being a very young individual, I got a chance to work with that great or large mega capital companies. I got a chance to work with the Tesla, Apple, Lloyd, MSC, OneLine, Panasonic, the Primo Food. These are right now one of the biggest name in the United States. And at a very young age in the beginning, I got a chance to work with the VP of Tesla. Like she was handling one of shipments from Hong Kong coming to California, was going to Venus Park tomorrow. And I was communicating with her individual on an individual basis, trying her to how we can help her to deliver the shipments to the destination as fast as possible. Throughout this journey, I met a lot of great leadership. I met one of the US consulate for the US embassies, and talked to some trade commissioners based in Brampton, Ontario, Canada. And then I did some pitches for one of the VCs in India as well. So it has made me one of the entrepreneurs who's looking for attacking a great market in the future. I went ahead and then I started researching more economics about the US, how the trade markets for the US had been and how it's going to be. Then anyhow, I collected all the data and I worked on a data set for that was showing me about the trade balance of the US with other countries. I read about like data from 1960s to 2022. I tried to pinpoint what was the major breakthroughs for the US, and I figured out that like after 1970 or 72, the US has became one of the greatest superpower in the world when they got success consecutively for the next 15 years. And I see the cycle over time and I read about other markets, what is the contribution to the healthcare, how logistics is helping the US. Anything. Then I started studying about more about war economics. Then I figured out I came on a point that right now these are less consumptions and these are also supply readily available right now. And like there was some instance for 6 to 8 months, major plants or manufacturing plants for automobiles companies, they were facing a lot of shortage for the past for the automatic parts as well. So I like after doing a lot of symmetries into the economics, I came on a point that I should have a break. This is not a good time to jump into it, right? And there was a time about the last of December of 2020. I made up my mind to give it a break for a while around March to April 2024. I got a break from my first startup. And when I closed the books, it became about like $3.8 million in a net business that I generated for people. Well, that I got a good, great exit for me. Over the time, I was able to develop, build, I terminate of people around like 15 team members that they have become a part of my founding team. Throughout this journey, I was able to work on a lot of things like I go to learn business development, sales, hiring, technology, any like where that required. I got to learn to work with the seniors than me. I had a people on my floor, these having more than 10 years older than me, and I had to learn how I'm gonna work with them. So and I felt that I got a great experience and I did a good recovery of my graduation as well. Whatever I invested on my graduation fees with 20 everything over the time I was seeing like wow, how much I could have worked. So I got satisfied and I took a break for almost 3 to 4 months. I went to traveling. Then firstly I traveled all domestic regions, major metropolitan cities in India, Bangalore, Delhi, Mumbai, Goa, Chandigarh. So afterwards, and then later I went ahead and did some international trips to Singapore, Dubai, and some other countries as well. Then I came back again and I was feeling little empty because when you became entrepreneur and your mind is constantly working and hoping you that something to do. Meanwhile, I used to learn more about what's going to happen in the future. I got a great luck as well when I was in Singapore, opposite to my home. There's a university that is one of the very renowned universities. That is a Sinpani University. I went to the robotics department. I met with the students who have been doing masters in robotics. I got a chance to work with them, attend 2 days with them. They learned about and got exposure how they have done, how they have been building and prototype for the outside and regarding safety and security and rapid response. I came back and I thought, yeah, it's like much impacting the market right now, but I must something I have in my hand that's gonna give me assurance for the next like 30 years of my life. And throughout exploring some other educations, I came on a point that hey, like CPAs. Then before CPA, I did some prep for the EA initially. I did prep for 3 or 4 months. Yeah. After prepping in India, I was trying to get some exam dates, get it done, cleared. But like last year, everyone knows it's hard to get that exam dates on a prometric. Didn't get there. Then I was thinking about how I applied this knowledge that I've struggled. Then I came to a point to be a CPA. It's going to be very prominent value in the US. Plus, it's going to fulfill my intent. It's going to give me my signatory value as well. As long as the market is going to be revolutionary or advanced or very maybe modernized in the future. But I would send something have in my hand that's going to give me assurance that I'm going to write some signatures or going to get some access to or view some financial books. And this is the only degree that can give me respect, motivations, my monetary desires as well, plus kind of assurance to explore. Not kind of assurance, I would say, kind of. I do have interest while doing my graduation. I read a lot of business case studies, reading a lot of business models, how other companies are operating. I became very curious. So I thought this is really not giving me full-fledged access, but if I'm going to do a CPA, I'm going to be a CPA, right? In the US, I'm going to get a chance to work on the books for the biggest market, biggest ultra large mega capital companies in the world. There are a lot of stories around this. Like when I started my journey by shifting from EA to CPA, I remember when I visited the Bank of America, they had a branch in India too. I was sitting with one of the representatives from the Bank of America, and there was a concern regarding my own startup. We seeking for some funds. How we gonna go? We're gonna get growth there. How we're gonna get the retail our licenses out there and how we're going to build our research out there. So for that concern, I met there and there was the person who was helping me. He was also a CPA from the Bank of America. He was the first person who going to help me to interact with the seniorities as well. But so over time, I would have loved the CPA. When I joined one of my institute, they had their own kind of ecosystem going on and they don't want to change for someone individual. And I was feeling very unsafe or understood in the beginning. They handed me other source material that is very much famous in the market for a pro account. If you have done accountancy practice for 2, 3 years in the US market, then if you want to have intent, you want to go forward into the CPA, you can have that source material provided for me, but very for me as a beginner. It had wasted of almost my 1.5 months. Then I moved to one of another. But while searching on, like my budget was going down and I was feeling less confident. Then I would have sublined on the internet for the Ninja CPA and pricing was good. I said, oh, this is very customized. I would have that for me.
I mean,
I,
I want to ask you about how you got started with Ninja. would you first walk me through your CPA exam journey and how it started? So you started out with the EA and then decided to jump into the CPA exam. First, walk me through your journey, what exams you took, what
Mm.
order, and your successes, your failures, etcetera.
So when I read for when I started learning the EA, EA is more about tax knowledge. I have gained more and more deep knowledge about concepts related to taxation. And I observed that right now there's a knowledge on that's available. And I really wanted to utilize my that knowledge. I really want to answer that as well. So I found that if I'm gonna do a TCP, that is just one of the disciplines for a CPA, it's gonna help me to do a less hard work and smartly get my exam done. And as a net results, it might provide me the same kind of assurance. Then I went forward. But when I jumped into a CPA, I saw these are syllabus was wide and I have to work on the AICPA blueprints. I need to work on my skills for the recall, explanations and applications as well, valuation skills. EA does not have the same sort of demand. So that's how, whatever the knowledge, if I would say I read all the levels for the EA, about 30 to 40% of that knowledge helped me to go forward to jump to complete my thesis. Like when I felt that, okay, I got a point right now, this is a thing I want to do, and I want to do it and anyway. Doesn't matter how many hours of a day you have to for me, but I have to do it. So going forward, I have completed my syllabus first with the help of Ninja CPA through the first review. And I got feel very much confident that I really can do it. That was the guns I was getting with just with a single revision. Then I asked my institute wherever I'm studying from, and I asked them to help me to get the evaluation for my application. I really need like ETS, and I would have confidence, and I really want to do. And but over the time, I didn't tell them that I'm side by side. I'm studying it from a Ninja CPA, and this is my source material. Everyone I was showing that I'm just doing a practice or doing a revision as you all guys doing, and someone felt that like how you have done it so fast. So whatever. So I went forward. I asked them like to done my evaluation process. Again, they just showed a very loose hand. If someone is doing evaluation, maybe for the evaluation, the cost would be around like $300, $500 for me, almost about three times as well. They put my application to the board, and I had some short credits as well. So they had taken like 15 to 20 days and they came back and they asked me to make some changes. Then I again took help from my institute, did changes in my application, then again submitted. And again, like after the next round of submitting the revisions of my application, they again find some errors of it. And I was frustrated really like how I would reach out to my exam. I really, then I paid for the escalation fees to the evaluation team, right, to the evaluation agency. And they did that. And if you are doing maybe evaluation, maybe average days on like 21 days, something sort of that. But it took me almost 1.5 months to just get my ATS. And when I got my ATS, I had planned to get it done around November or like December. I started my prep about September, I would say. And I was intending like I can do it around November. When I bought my thesis around like 22 or 23 of October, there was no exam dates available in November, even though not in December. I got my date around in like something of on 4 January. And again, like when there were almost like 10 days left, due to some personal reason, I have to change the schedule for my exam. Then I changed it for 20th of Jan. And again, there was another problem came personally. I had to shift my city. After we shift from one city to another city just for kind of my personal reason. Anyhow, I that know the date for the 31st of Jan. I did a lot of prep and during the last days, I again revised simulations of industry and gave the exam. When I gave the exam and did it out, I felt that like the like exam for the exam timing is 4 hours something. Right? It'll be 4 hours 30 minutes something. And throughout my this process, or with the help of the Ninja CPA review materials, my concepts were so sharp that I had done my examination in almost about two, 2 hour and 30 minutes. So it was almost about I have completed all the attempt in half of the exam time.
So so which exam did you start with first?
I did TCP, yeah.
TCP first. And then what was your score?
So I got about 90 out of 100 in my TCP. I felt that,
Okay,
yeah.
and so then after TCP, what did you take?
So taking right over rec,
Okay, so
rec
so
based.
so, so right now you're studying for reg.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you noticed? Do you wish that you would have taken reg and then TCP, or are you glad that you took TCP and then reg?
There was nothing in my mind like which one should go first. Like maybe if I had the rep to do it with the, I just want to convert, I just want to apply the same sort of knowledge base that I took from the EA. And why I did TCP first, it's a section of the regulation. It gives you more insights and wide knowledge about individuals, business and non-businesses, organizations and tech concept compliance. And over there, I was looking for a future ahead as well while doing my this prepping for the exam for the TCP. I was also trying intend that how I want to be part of the this big season 2024. Meanwhile, I bought my credentials actively. I had done the one of the program that called KFST program by the IRS. Meanwhile, I bought my credentials to be a become a valid preparer as well. So my intention is was to deliver services in actual to a text, right? If I got a chance to represent one of the taxpayer in this season, I want to do that. So I came on logic that Bragg is a mix of Circular 230, ethics, code of conduct, and risk code of conduct and penalties and things about it. Then some of relational transactions regarding data and vendor creditor relationship, and you have something about to read for the gross incomes and cost recoveries, like inventory valuations. Then something about some more knowledge about these businesses and non-businesses. But TCP contains a lot of deep dive information regarding how what are represent to the individual issue taking care now. If we categorize about the revenue system based on the US taxpayer that IRS is getting, right, they are much more revenue or tax liabilities from each individual. They're much more getting it from the W-2s than they're getting from the 1099s. And W-2 contains your gross income, your social securities, your retirement accounts, yeah, everything about it. And TCB has more deep dive knowledge about retirement accounts, multiple retirement accounts based on your features, flexibility, adaptability, and cost effectiveness or unit ticket. Apart from it, moving forward, so there's a I oversee that the knowledge is much valuable if I want to do much more work on TCP. If I were a chance how to formulate a company in the US, if someone came to me, I would open up the SPOC. And I thought, and there's a unit available to work on SPOC operation compliance, shareholders, and they have complications as well. And for the C corporations and for the partnerships and for the trust and for a charitable organization, then for the like non-tax or a tax exempted organization. So I felt that love, it is very extending my knowledge, PA, right? So that's why I made up my mind. And I thought if I'm gonna do the discipline first, would help me, I had intention always to go with the hard way first, then go with the lenient way. And I thought, let me go with the TC first. I had accumulation knowledge from the EA. I can have that, and then I'm gonna have to much more work for 50 to 60% more. 30% knowledge I do have already. I'm gonna reach about 80 to 90% knowledge for the text queue, for the text IQ. That is a for the exam, and that was just basic intent, and that's how I picked up a TCP out of the ring.
Okay, so TCP and then reg. when when do you sit for reg? When is your
Sorry,
exam? When is your regulation exam?
I need to give it in like the next 45 days. So
Okay.
currently I'm like area one and area two, trying to make it much more skills and practice for that.
Okay. So being a CPA candidate in India, there's several different choices. Well, there's several CPA review courses that are specific to India, and then you have the other courses that are US based courses that are in the Indian market. How did you even hear about Ninja?
So So, right, when I joined the institute, I paid them almost about $2,000 something of that money. That was totally including institution fees and the cost to the material provided. And I was very new to new to this thing, CPA. I had nothing knowledge about the CPA preparations and other service providers. nothing. And so after my high school, I used to be the competitive students to do some preparation for the competitive exam. And I thought that this kind of same kind of mindset would work for it, but it didn't work. When I saw like I am really struggling with the practicing, I really need to have some more MCQs. I really need to have some more simulation. So whatever. So my technique is that like there's a method called a rote memorization when your brain got trained by revising again and again. It's again like very deep routine and requires some accuracies, like almost about 80 to 90%, 90% accuracy, I would say. And then I like, applied almost 1.5 months and did that struggle with other service provider initially that institute handed over me without my choice. They said, this is best for you. Everyone is doing it from me. Everyone is getting passed out it from, and you have to do. I thought that's fine, but it's not really giving me a confidence. I'm having a lack of guts right now. I was internally feeling that I was not able to give the exam with this source of material at least. Then I started researching about the more other service provider based out in India as well, in the US as well. But I thought I don't want to send it on the internet, but I would say like I want to go with someone like who's much more inclined with the AICPA blueprints
Right.
instead of doing trial and error and experimenting others. Then I got some other material provider as well. But during when I got this, I spent some money. I felt that like my budget is deteriorating right now. I really need something to have that is on a monthly subscription. So that's how I did a little bit of research and tried internet, checked out YouTube. Even I went on the Reddit as well, asked some lot of anonymous right users as well. What's going on, guys? Just let me know what is the best way. I'm using this one, you're using this one. I made my CPA buddies as well while sitting in my home through the LinkedIn something, talk to them like, what are you guys studying out? And by this time, I left my institute. I made up mind that I'm going to do it for myself. And this is going to be journey for next 20, 30 years for me as an individual. And I have to build my mind on my own, being a self-learner. And so, yeah, so I do have a attitude of a self-learner. And I was looking something that can help me to gain my confidence, provide me some more other knowledge about the text concept internally or in my head. These are constantly revolving that I must attempt 100% syllabus. And this exam has been conducted by the board of accountancy. We cannot always, I personally feel that we cannot always assure that this is going to be 100% syllabus and nothing comes out of it. And if there would be situation out there happen, I will feel very much irritated and frustrated by relying on someone else's source material. I really need to have some reliability. And that's how throughout by knowing more of or researching on the Reddit, one of the person that, like on the Reddit, everyone is having anonymous user ID. Someone tell me try Ninja CPA. And then when I search out or check out the pricing, I checked the other things, features, benefits. Later on, after check out the pricing you have, it was offering me a monthly subscription. I go that. I didn't think like a blink of an eye. I just go that. Then I went there. I see the lectures, MCQs, flashcards, simulations. When I started some simulations, I got some other simulations as well that is not inclined with the other source of material providers that I have told. And like for example, there's a real example that I can give for students who have been doing TCP. When we when we do normally simulations for a TCP from other source material provider, like in last year, like there were very rare chances I had seen that you're gonna see a simulation regarding carrier losses. And I read carrier losses EA in other CPS meter providers. I didn't have that. But when I get that Ninja CPA, I got that simulation to solve. I really got my skin out of it and I thought I really want to solve it. And I applied my again mind, recall my compliance, what are the compliance for the casualty or abnormal losses. Then there was another simulation showed the medical expenses was advanced. And so that's how I got the Ninja CPA and that's how it has helped me to crack the exam. And moving on, I'm keeping my the same strategy for my other exams. Keeping Ninja CPA on the top one, and the rest of remaining I'm keeping for the CPA exam clearance, examination, work lectures, polishing my skills, There's a Ninja CPA, then there are another source material provided to just to cover up the syllabus.
So
Yeah.
TCP, then reg, and then what's after reg? Auditing or FAR?
And gonna do it for it.
Audit and then finish up with FAR. Okay.
I'm gonna finish up with part. I might like I'm still it is too early to think right now. Maybe I'm gonna give ISC as well and bar as well.
Well, you can. I don't think they'll let you. You've already passed TCP. I don't know why you'd want to, but
See, like when so first I had a venture before I did it solo, right? Now I'm building another accounting firm that is right now non CPA. And I got that domain like last year already. It's called Hire My CPA. And it's also a very new interesting thing about it. ISC, that is Information and System Control, gives you knowledge about how a company can organize their information regarding safety, security, cyber attacks, threats, everything. And being a tech guy, having a technocrat, I used to do program for internally for developing applications for whatever we required for my organization before, and I read little bit about cloud computing as well. Then for the bar or the bar or with ISC, I thought like I must have like advanced knowledge in order to be competitive with the market ahead. And I seen what's going to be career after my CPA. I worked bit on that as well. I checked out like what is going to be best primarily for money for me after a CPA, after a qualified CPA. And I checked out some like remunerations out there, and anyhow I came on a conclusion that I must start my own, right? I can do it on my own, being a self learner. So I started seeing like how's the market going on, what's going on right now in the internet world regarding the accountancy audits and these compliance. Then I went back, helped started Bill.com, Testify, and then there's a recent one of the company that is got buyout, right, as well. So I thought what I can do that can help the market. So I go to hire my CPA. This notion came to mind, and I can really work on my CPA buddies, my CPAs, other CPAs who have both their qualified degree as well. So I must try on my own, create a marketplace for the CPA so that we would able to create something sort of a real value for the CPA in order to someone going into a underrated value. So there was just a notion about it. So I was trying to get like how I'm gonna marketize I go that domain by my CPA. Right? That most probably would be a marketplace in the future where people want to see if I want to see if someone wants to hire a CPA, they're gonna all profiles are gonna be available there based on something, the factors that would be 50% in the hands of the CPAs and 50% would be in the hand of the clients and taxpayers or the clients or taxpayers who have the had represented before, so that there would be a centralized value that this one, a CPA is better than B, then how it is better than B, right? So I told that in order to be going forward into the market, I really have to learn it from the basics. That is like whatever thing I've done in my life so far, I done the things from very scratch. So I thought like I can start it from by delivering non-CPA related services, ordinary accounting services, bookkeeping, payroll, tax services, right? To the CPAs who have experience already there and trying to target solo CPAs right now. I got a pool of licensed CPAs and CA in India, Indian CAs and accountants with me as well, data analysts as well with me. They became a part of my team as well right now. And we are pitching right now to a solo CPAs in the US to help them to building their CPA accounting firms. Will help me to understand how much challenges they have been facing, what kind of challenges they are having right now. And I now understand the value systems right now. Like I have seen there a lot of disparity. Someone is charging like $150 for the W2 and 1099. Someone is charging $1,800 for the W2 1099 or 1040 something for that. Not at all. Like, what is the symmetry right now in the market? Like, how I can feel that this is genuine, this is though. So,
Good.
so that's all. This was my mindset behind it. That why I should have. I must read. Maybe I would not have been able to give the exam. I did not read as well, but I will must read ISC and I would have read it on the.
So even if you don't take bar and ISC, you still want to study the material. That's what you're
Sorry.
even if you don't take bar and ISC, you still want to study the material so that you understand it, so that you can help the firms.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Because these that would become a part and parcel, that would become a mandatory. Like if I do a CPA and want to join Big Four, I'm gonna go in audit, like financial accounts, then I can maybe go to taxation something, then again, a lot of different divisions out there for internationals and property, real estates, industry wise as well. So, but right now, what I'm trying to target, like I really want to spend my time, good time to this for the next coming years. That gonna be very much uncertain. People are saying that they're gonna take your job. It's not. And right now, like I was talking, when I'm having a lot of experience of this as well. So I was talking one of the CPA based out in Texas. One of the well, there's a one of I forgot the city name, and it's much backward right now. And like I told them like how you guys are hiring. I pitched them as a CPA candidate, and I told him that I'm much capable and it's also certified QuickBooks. I have done some other ERP certification as well to showcase that like I'm ready to deliver the service right now. See, and he told her like I just even like to go and meet and shake and see and shake hands and see things practically, physically. Then that's our mode of protest right now. That's how we are operating right now in the AI advanced era. And I told like how you guys are hiring. He said we just hiring people from nearby college candidates. That's it. Like people who are doing masters, accounting and something they are doing it. Like we can have enough to hire them. That and I thought, okay, this is still the opportunities out there. And that was my main point. Tell you why this is would be the best way to go in order to explore more opportunities. And I like to really spend my like 10 to 20 years of my life into this. And that's why I'm trying to research more and more, going bit by bit in order to be not to be big, but to be an applicant, more to be perfectionist, or I would say most to be result oriented. That would be a best thing for I would say instead of a perfectionist. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So now I'm going to walk through the different ninja study weapons and hear about how you used each one, or if you didn't use it, then just say, I didn't use it. So start with the Ninja, because this is specifically to TCP. Start with the Ninja book. Did you use the Ninja book for TCP?
Yeah, I had used that. It really helped me to like with other source material providers. I got some doubts and I was not able to clear it. And firstly, the reading, the level of vocabulary that is used by the Ninja CPA is much adaptable. You do not have to be very much fluent or very much expert in international language. I would say there's an index that we mostly use on the internet while in marketing or organic marketing for the website. I'm sorry.
No problem.
So for that, I used the Ninja CPA books and I went ahead and I read about right. So I have observed that I just read the first page and it was just meeting my intention. And when I read through line by line, statement by statement, about some concept, initially I was struggling with the kitty tax, right? And stock tax basis, right? There, that was an India CP helped me to gain very deep now, like understanding that gone stored in my brain. And I got that done from the Ninja C. Now I felt that that has become my long-term memory. Like what happens usually, like you read a lot of things, and it's you do not apply the knowledge in like 9 to 10 days or 9 to 11 days, it starts washing.
Right.
But yeah, so then I read some of the concept to the Ninja CPA. It's still there in my head. And like very famous concept of how that we do is the gain tax. Basing gain tax is a unrealized syntax, I would say, that is still in my head. A lot of concepts regarding this. I would have much deep clarity about selecting organizations based on Section 501c fee. Those are for charitable contribution deductions, and some are no those.
So you read the Ninja book to learn the material. Did you use the notes to summarize?
Yeah, I did that. I did that notes like how I did that. Like if I, for example, nearby my exam dates in the last few days, like I would say, the last 2 weeks. So I used to read in a section. I created my own unit. Like the one day I wanna read about businesses, one day I wanna read about. So what I normally observe that again like mixing up some of my knowledge and that was creating nervousness in my head. And I felt that in my knowledge, my whatever I read last night, it's getting burned out maybe. And then I started making some notes, whatever I read from the Ninja CPA book. So then overnight, I make them notes. Then I get up early I got up early in the morning usually, and I use those notes, and then I do the revise before jumping on the next one. It really quick in my memory that helped me to knuckle down the other down.
What about the audio? Did you listen to Ninja audio at all?
Yeah. Like I used to like how my day, how I started my day. Can normally go out early in the morning, like in India, I would say 3 a.m. First thing I go, I get my like hot water, and I suddenly straight away I went out for the walk or a jog and I put my headphones on my cell phone browser. I go in the CPAs and like whatever I was struggling with any kind of concepts, I put the audio down and it's constantly revolving in my ears and I was listening it out. I learned about international taxes to the Ninja CPA. Initially with other service providers, like I was not able to reaching up the point. There are a number of concepts regarding the international taxations as well in the TCP, and I go that great grip on like very tight grip on the international taxis to the Ninja CP audio. I used to do cycling, put my headphones on and play the audio on Ninja CPA and like all got that covered with the regarding the international taxis with the Ninja CP audio. So that's how kind of where to always find out maybe with the blessing of God how I would have done that thing. And if there wouldn't be a Ninja CPA, I might still be struggling around. What should I give the exam?
Good. I'm thankful that they found it helpful. The MCQ, you obviously, how many MCQ do you think you worked for TCP? And do you remember your trending score?
So maybe I have done about 800 MCQs on each
Okay.
concept, and I use some AI tools as well. Cook my concepts well on MCQs. Like there are a lot of repetitions or having same set of MCQs in all the service material in all the reading materials. But I feel that if you're doing like 800 or I think there are, I forgot the number, but there are about like 800 MCQs out there or something, and that's enough to just give it like a
Okay.
like it's there's like much more attention like how you know someone is trying to just to getting a 76 and someone is maybe trying to go very perfectly right. My intention was that like I had to really provide services with expert directly before going to some other ways. So I was reading more about how I can give services. Like then I worked on case studies as well. And Ninja CPAs, MCQs, they are different, give you a little bit real sort of experience that you can face of exactly while doing the practicing of services. And to summarize, I would say like 800 something, these MCQs would be enough. So the TCP in order to cover everything.
Do you remember your trending score, your Ninja
Sorry?
trending score? Do you remember your Ninja trending score?
Not yet. I used to get like always like before jumping on any kind of simulation, if I was doing for the visuals, also I was getting like 80, 90, I was getting like I reached to the like practicing before I put my concept in the book. Because like when I was reading other material providers, I was done there's a lack of detailed knowledge in order to solve the problem that is available in that. But Ninja CPA gives you all 100% knowledge. If you get that, you revise that, you got cook that, you got to understand that, you got to know how you're going to apply it into the real work, then you go solve the MCQs, then after solving MCQs, you got a good grades like 80, 90 something, then you can jump on to the simulations and show you can do it. And you will feel confident. What we need during the prep confidence. And Ninja CPA gives you that much of what to read about examination. The content is much viable, very much wide in order to solve 80, 90% problems that or kind of simulations you might have in the exam.
What was your strategy with simulations? How did you tackle learning the simulations?
So there's a very simple strategy for me. I cannot, I'm not going to do the simulation once I don't feel that I'm done. concepts 100%. Once I feel that I have put my concept well, now I don't need to recall the concept. I just need to know how I can apply it while cooking the concept, revising it about, understanding more about it. Then I try to predict what can be the use cases for this one, what can be the application for this one, and we got the most of simulation under the applications, and that is a much more mental skills and someone as a student has to develop while wrapping up your application skill. That if you're writing a concept, it is not for the memory, it is for how you're gonna apply. And this is whole degree about the whole CPA journey is about how you're gonna apply the skills to your client or to your or maybe the organization you're working under them, and how you're gonna provide benefits, how you're gonna provide clean accuracies, and I would say and free kind of grant someone can have. So that's how it will create a distinctions between you as a qualified, between someone as a not qualified or a bona.
So as you were reading the material, you were thinking through your head how they might ask you a simulation over this or how to apply it in a task-based simulation.
Sorry, what did you say?
As it, you said that as you were studying the material, you were thinking through how to apply it and maybe use and how they might ask you the content in a simulation. So you were studying the content with the application in mind.
Yeah, yeah, for every concept. Well, if we talk about individual basis, if we have to prepare 1040, that is an individual return, and maybe you're doing night five or you cannot do nothing by just thinking about gross income. You cannot do nothing by understanding the requirement. If you read about 4 to 5 concepts, you got to know Schedule A, itemized deduction. You got to know what would be the compliance for other deductions that going to be under Schedule A, right? Maybe not, then they can be standard deductions. Then there's a additional deductions, right? Then gross income, type of gross income, then above the line and below the line deduction. That's how you reach out to your tax income. And that's how, like, doing it all, I had idea in mind that this is something going to be reached, someone, something at a point. And so Ninja CPA things are arranged very much in order. You gotta read the things from top to down, and this really helps you to save the time and to crack the simulation.
When you're all done with the CPA exam, do you anticipate taking any other credentials like the CMA or maybe go back to the EA?
Like as you said, like I have read the EA already. I will know. I will. This is very much that I would say. I will now think about the EA before any nearby future. Regarding the CMI, I would read that CMI. I had the intention or like the base understanding for the CSA, and I have some more source material that I would think to read instead of CF for the finance world. I'm very in this firm, and my personal interest to go into a merger and merger and acquisition. I follow some of the great merger experts on about and also buy side experts and sell side experts. And for that, I really need to be have very deep knowledge about finance and the tax compliance as well. And I think CPA is the center of core of everything. Once you get the CPA, you can maneuver to everything. You can be a CFA. You got that skill in yourself. You got that attitude in you that you can do it. You can set 10 hours. You can set for multiple hours. You're going to do it. You're going to do. You can manage with your other stuff as well. And so it depends how you like to go into your future. If I would see, I really want to explore my hands more. I want to have a big plate right now. I would think for a CMA. And the CMA, I think CMA have two of examination, and your CPA is just enough. If you have done the CPA, you can easily do the CMA. If you have done the CPA already, your financial grasping is good. You can go to the CFA further. You can be just think about what and more mathematic finance. And so I would say CPA is out of anything, gives you much more flexibility to move your future in any space and further. And that I would
Well, if you do tackle the CMA, hopefully you'll use Ninja CMA.
I would like I did not read much about the referral program or pathway program so far, and I thought like once when I like there are a lot of things going on in my head. I used to have very limited time. You have seen my behavior right now. how I think, or what is my mindset, how I think the future. And with this kind of degree that is very much famous, or people think it's very much tough and fast. Like I got experience with one of the business consultant. I want to shout out him. His name is Brian Law. He's about, I would say, having 20 years, 25 years of experience. He worked for the Boeing, then he works for the Rolls Royce. He does a mechanical engineering out there. And over the time, today, a business consultant for some of the engineer firm. I got a chance to interact with him. And I told them I've been studying from Linda CPA. And he just given me a thumbs up that you got a good service provider and you got a
Oh,
good
good.
reading material. It really gives assurance. I just had an insecurity in me that I really don't want to do the bad. I really don't have to read bad stuff. Then and don't want to regret in the future. I have to restart again. So that was the thing always revolving my head. And regarding the future, I would right now, all my CPA buddies who are interested in me, and I'm talking on a daily basis, or maybe on WhatsApp, maybe on LinkedIn, maybe on Instagram. I try to, nowadays I'm trying to make more and more friends nationally, internationally, based out in India to out in the US as well. So I always give my much clarity. I feel that if this is a good sense of helping someone to get out of struggle, because when I was doing it, I felt a lot of pain and frustration. When I used to prep, I used to sleep down in library.
Gotcha. So having the online study buddies has been helpful for you, like on WhatsApp and LinkedIn and Reddit. That's been helpful to you having that community.
Yeah, I'm really loving it to prep much more on, like, I feel, comparatively with all platforms, every platforms have their own mode. But I so in fact more about on Reddit. I feel that the users who just talking to me are providing much more distinct or straight clarity about this examination, and like scuffling out things in and out in this journey. I even didn't know how I'm gonna check my result. Then I asked someone, "Hey, this is something showing score on my portal," and that was a day before the results. And I post a picture, like post on someone on Reddit. I said, "Can you help me please to check on my results?" And
Yeah.
then you passed out. I said, "I'm not able to see my score." And he said, "It's gonna pop up tonight, maybe after dinner, around dinner." Then I checked it out the next day in the morning. And yeah, that was the breakthrough for me moment. And now much more confident, got bit adaptable right now already in the CPA for the revelations, and I'm going good. I'm like going it. Things are going easy for me. Meanwhile, I'm paying service either, but
Awesome. Make sure that you also join the Ninja Facebook group if you haven't. Have you joined that yet?
like I wanna tell my marketing team who they have been handling social media right now, and I will tell them, and we're gonna like immediately by after the wrap of this session. We're going to join your group and would love to be. I even personally went to on your LinkedIn profile, send your connection request. Maybe you got a more followers of about 15,000 followers, and I just go like 1,500. There's a difference of minutes between you and me, and it hasn't accepted yet. And I would say you like a mentor, if you can help us to get a visibility into the market, would really help to get some work for us, because it's been almost about 6, 7 months, I would say, struggling with everything. EA, CPA, Ninja CPA created, Ninja CPA created, provided a lot of help to me. And I was reading one of the code is that, like, if you have 100 skills, right, and if you have zero visibility, then net outcome is zero. If you have
Right.
100% visibility, you're going to have 100%. And
Yeah.
we currently right now struggling with the visibility on the internet. I think like, helping by joining you, and if you're going to help us to, I would say, to repost the collaboration with you, what we have done so far, it's going to provide us, I would say, visibility on the internet first. And one, I think, firstly, I'm going to give you like assurance and promise of mine that I will again come back to you in a few months with more lasting results as well. To the with the CPA for the revelation. Secondly, I would say I had just gone through an experience right now, a few days. I tried creating my profile on LinkedIn to be more visible in order to create a match the intent when I was looking right. And I recently got trolled on Reddit as well. someone posted about me. People have narrated a lot of comments behind a lot of negativity out there. And that was about my results that we posted out there. So I hope like everyone is getting a level playing. I will say it here right now, this platform. Everyone is getting a level playing ground. Everyone is getting the equal opportunity. It's almost spent upon you. What is your reading material? How much time you are able to give it to, and how much determined you are. Once you combine all these three things, right, you can get the same thing that others are doing. That's what I say. And if you can help us on the internet to be more and more visible, so that we're gonna have more people join us. And in future, I would love to create a sponsor program accountant who loves to join us in the future. What about CPA? We love to sponsor them. We would love to sponsor them with the Ninja CPA material provider.
Awesome. Well, when I post this on LinkedIn, I'll make sure that I tag you so that then you can repost it. So hopefully that'll help with some visibility too. I don't know how many followers I have, and I don't even know if that works, but
And
hopefully
you
some
want
can.
15,000 something?
It doesn't feel like it, but awesome. Well, hey,
you,
go ahead.
like I was joking about you got a 50,000 followers. You must be sitting next to the Doge team and like provide more and more visibility and hiccups that everyone is watching every day in the US and in the world market right now. You know, so I feel
Yeah.
like I see you as very a great mentor. I'm sitting almost distantly a 7 ocean far away from you back in India, and I got a success throughout my previous organization that I did. And I did everything from here. And I really understand the US ecosystem well. And now we're trying to break it from here. We just, right now, we're facing issues like people used to ask. We're trying to assist CPA right now. They're just saying, if you're based on in US, do let us know. And right now, there's a sense of scams and I would say some frauds if someone is sitting out in another country. But I would request every CPA right now that everyone is not a scammer. There's some like youngsters like us. We try to reach you guys and trying to provide a great services. We good at like people to the market. Please don't post everyone who's calling from India or something is trying to create or maybe other part from the world. Right now, world is much globalized. It just take us like 1 minute to reach from like 1,000 miles away. So, my request to everyone CPA is that like if we are reaching out to you, it's not about scam, it's not about frauds, it's about financial accuracy, diligence, services, security, future predictions about the market, thinking about for the future, how accountancy can be a more flexible with the AI in order to reduce the time and generate the more and more results. For example, being a single entry, I did hustle myself so far in order to create the firm on my own in any street and I did on my own. So what I felt like when I sent you that right now there's a disparity about the value. Someone is charging like 300 something and someone is charging $800. It's totally acceptable that everyone is having an experience and we do value experience right now. And I feel like if people are getting audits from the IRS, federal or maybe a state, it's dependable on someone like who has represent to you in your filing. And the accuracy for an individual can be measured by how much filing he has done. For example, if someone has filed at 10 returns, right, against that if someone bought at two audit cases on that one, maybe by the IRS, maybe that can be a minimum cases of correspondence audits, right? Comparatively, there's another person who have filed the same number of cases, right? Then he got a three audits, right? And on a publicly available file in the market, we can say that he is better than because he got less audits and he has a more accuracy with the compliance. So that gives more comparison value to all CPS or CPS who are in practice. So this is kind of a sense that I have observed on my own while hustling, while calling to the CPS, and so far we used to reach out. I personally reaching out a number of CPS every day, trying to reach out them, trying to buy services with them, trying to become a backend party for them. And to summarize, we just have intention to provide a better services to create a more revenue system to help you expand more and more so that we can go forward. And also, it also fulfill one of the economical solutions is that in future, everyone is facing that there might be a shortage of CPS maybe in upcoming time due to the toughness of this exam. But I think if this kind of ecosystem can be accepted by the market, we can have more and more services we can deliver to the consumers as well. Plus, US authorities have opened this degree to 200 countries. So this kind of an international competition, it is not something limited to the US regions and the US boundaries. If someone is sitting out in India, or maybe sitting out in the UK, somewhere else, part of the world, maybe in Europe, he still can have access to do this, to become CPA. Once he got the license, he got the same sort of, I would say, representation that someone who's a US citizen is having right now.
I want to thank you again for your time. One quick question that occurred to me a minute ago. What state are you taking the exam through?
I'm taking in this from Guam State.
Guam? Okay. Okay. Do most Indian CPA candidates take it through Guam?
No, no, most I would say some of my friends are doing it from Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
Someone met someone like she's a girl, she's from a city, she's doing from California. I had a knowledge, like I had a like information about that, like if someone has to go through, someone has to become a California CPA, there are some more compliances out there. But as my network is growing, I am getting it more. But yeah, like I don't mind it to say it, but like I have heard that someone said to me that if you're doing it from Goa, it's going to get easy. I don't feel that. But North Indian US CPA are mostly doing from Guam. They do have accents, and how it's working on right now here, it's totally dependent the adaptability of the institute you're taking up for the study. If they're good at Guam, something UCL, right? These are, I'm gonna shout out to one of the institute. I feel they are one of the best currently in India. They use some other institute like they help students to get to licensing done from Seattle. Someone is from California recently, man. She's studying from there, and she said, I'm studying from London. That's an institute, very well known, very great faculty, very good teaching manners, teaching methods, I would say. So I really love the being working as an institute. And I suggest people, like, if they ask me, like, where should I join? I said, I'm like, you can join this Commander Institute and they can.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thank you for your time. What I'd like to do is after you pass FAR, after you get through regulation, auditing, and FAR, I'd like to have you back and hear more about your successes, things that you learned along the way, things that you would do different once you've taken all 4 exams. But after seeing your success on TCP and you reaching out, I want to hear more about that first. So thank you again
I'll be
for your
back.
time.
Like, yeah. I want to be back to you very soon, within 2 months, I would say. That's I'm going to give you a promise. A man of words. This is a thing like I am going to come to you very soon, maybe before that. Right now, we just much engaged right now to reaching out CPAs. I would request you to please help us to get a shout out right as well in the internet. And plus, if we can get a repost from your side by tagging my name, right, or it would be really helpful. My LinkedIn profile is by my name. I sent you a request already, and I really don't know how you're gonna tag by to me on LinkedIn or how I'm gonna provide you. Can I send you my LinkedIn profile, the email? Would that be fun?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
think?
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Happy to help in any way that I can. Thank you again, Gagan, for your time, and it's been great. I appreciate it.